Hello everyone, my name is Manuel Herrera and today I'll be talking about the use of Kaizena web application. Well, Kaizena is a web application that allows you to provide feedback in a Google Docs document, okay? It is really useful because you can add audio comments in the same page as it is document, okay? And in this quick introduction, we're going to see how to set up your teacher's account, and of course I'm going to show you then how to interact with your students, creating your first group and of course giving your first audio feedback. Okay, so let's go. The first thing that you need to do is to create your Kaizena account. To do that, you need to be logged in with your Google account. Okay, so the first thing that you need to do is to check that you are logged in with your Google account. Then you have to go to kaizena.com, and this is going to ask you to log in or sign in with your Google account. So click singing. You have to give all the permissions, so you have to allow. And then the process of creating your Kaizena account is going to start. So what do you have to select? Of course, you have to go here to teachers. So you have your first name. This is your username. This is the way your students are going to see you. Okay, so you can put your name here, and then you can select or change that. So you can have here your name, or you can put like this one, like Mr. Manuel Herrera, or Doctor, or etc, etc, etc. Then of course you have to add here your school name. In this case I'm going to add the university in which I'm teaching, right? And it's done. If it doesn't appear, you just have to add it. Okay, then select next. So this is going to ask you, what do you teach? What are the subjects that you teach? In this case I'm going to select English. You can of course add any other. So then it's going to ask you which are the grades. So for example, I have here a list of grades from 1 to 13, right? But you can do an add other and then select, for example, here college or university or any other than the ones that you have here. In this case I'm going to add college. I'm going to select that one and click next. So how many periods do you teach? For example, I teach English for one. Well, in this case I'm going to select for 4 periods. You can of course change that in the future. Click next. And if you are teaching in another school, another university, or another class, just add another. In this case I'm just going to click next. So now it also gives you the possibility to add your groups. Okay, so for example, I'm teaching at university and I have 2 groups. Well, I'm going to select English 1 as one of my groups, English 2. I don't teach English 3 or 4, so I'm going to delete these groups. Those are just suggestions, okay? You can then add your own groups or modify the ones that you already have. In this case, I'm just going to leave 1 for this demo. Then select next. And there you are. This is your Kaizena account, okay? So this is the one that you're going to give your students for them to look for you and ask you for feedback, okay? So we're going to select this and copy for the future example. And in this case, as a teacher, I'm done. So here you are. This is your Kaizena dashboard. So here you're going to see, for example, obviously the welcome. Okay, so I'm going to give you all the instructions how to use Kaizena and lots of different and very useful help. And here above here you have the notification panel. So with your groups, your lessons, your skills, and things that we're going to explain later. Okay, And here you are all your conversations, and here you have your groups, and then you can manage your own groups. We're going to leave this here for a moment. Now we're going to see how your students can create their own Kaizena account. So let's go there. Well, now we're going to see how your students can create their own account. So let's take a look. Remember that before we copy one address, well, that is the address that they have to use here. So they just have to paste this in the address bar, and here they have the name of their teachers. In this case, my name. So they're going to click, and Kaizena is going to ask them for permission. Again, they need their Google account. So what do they have to do? They have to sync it with Google. They have to allow all the permissions. So click allow. And they have to select that they are students. So they write their names, in this case, John Connor. So they click next. And that's it. They are done. And now they are part of my classes. So this is my class. I teach at university, right? And as a student, I'm going to join one of Mr. Manuel Herrera's group. So I'm going to click here, and the groups are going to appear. In this case, this teacher only has one group, so I'm going to join this group. And that's it. Now, I am the student requesting feedback. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to add a file, right, using my Google Drive account. So I have here the file that I want my teacher to give me feedback. So I'm going to select that, and this is going to upload, and that's it. I'm done, right? Now we're going to go back to our teacher's account and see what we can do with Kaizena. Okay, so now I go back to the teacher's account. So here you can see me, right? And I have 3 notifications. Well, one of them tells me that I added a conversation, right? And someone joined one of my groups. So I'm going to see who is that one that joins to my group. In this case, I'm going to check that here, and there you are. I have one of my students that is asking me for feedback. So I'm going to select this conversation. I'm going to open the file that he uploaded from his Google account, right? His Google Drive account. And I'm going to see, okay, this is a task that I assigned them. So maybe we're preparing, for example, in this sample for the IELTS, right? Writing task 2. So there are the instructions and his answer. Well, there are 4 options to provide feedback to your students. The first one, and the most important of Kaizena, is the voice recording note. So what can you do here? You can record your own voice. So for example, as I'm talking right now, I'm just recording what is happening. So I'm going to click stop recording. So this is going to upload, and then it's going to appear here, right? So it's then I can listen. So what can you do here? You can record your, right? As this is just an example, I'm not going to use this recording. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to do some feedback. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to select one part of this text in which I want to provide feedback. For example, in this first paragraph, right, or first line, or the one that you want to select. You can select the whole paragraph, put a different color if you want. So if you don't like green, you can select this one, or blue, or red, or whatever. I'm going to just select the orange. And then you have the different options, right? As I told you before. In this case, I'm going to select the voice note. Well, John, thank you very much for writing. This is a very good introduction to your task. I think they're doing such a good job. Thank you very much for submitting, of course, your task. And then you stop. So then you stop the recording. and this is going to appear again. So your students are going to be able to hear your comments. And a voice comment is very important because everything is just here on the same page, right? So if you take a look, I can just click here and listen to the comment. Well, John, thank you very much for writing, right? And then I can continue just reading the document. Well, you can also add a text message. So if you select, for example, here, and you see that, well, I don't like this sentence, or he maybe made a mistake here, you can add your voice comment, or in this case, just add a text note. So I'm going to put this in a different color. And you just write your text message here. I think you should use different word here, and you post it. So again, everything is going to keep here on the left in this dashboard. Okay, you can also add something that is called skills, so, or lessons. So it says that you don't have any lessons yet, so let's add a lesson. So lessons are the places in which you, for example, or with the things that you normally see during classes. For example, this task relates to the academic writing task 2 of the IELTS test. So I'm going to add a lesson, and I'm going to put here uh, academic writing task 2 video, right? I'm going to click add, and I'm going to put here a link. In this case is a link to a YouTube video that I showed them during the class. So I'm going to click post, and this is going to be one of my lessons. So I'm going to go back here to my conversation with John, the feedback that I'm giving John, right? So I'm going to go now to lesson. I'm going to tell him that we already covered this, right? For him to remember, and I'm going to post lesson. So here there's going to be a screen that says watch video. So he's going to have the possibility to to watch the video just here on the notification board. Okay, and of course you can type here then skills. Skills are, for example, if you notice that the students made like lots of mistakes, for example, using the simple past, you just type here simple past, right? You create that and you give them, okay, a rating system. It's like he's making many mistakes in the simple past, or none of them, or just a few. So it's just for him to recall it, okay? And there you are. Those are the most common options of the Kaizena dashboard. Now let's take a look how you can, as a student, how can you react to your teacher's comments. So now as a student, I also got notifications here. So it says that my teacher gives me lots of different comments. So I'm going to take a look at my task. So I'm going to go here to the conversations, and I have the different comments that my teachers gave me. So I'm going to see, and I'm going to open the document to see directly where he mentions those comments. So I have this one, for example, and as you notice, it's going to tell me directly here on the left about the comment of my teacher, and I'm going to listen to him. The voice note. Well, John, thank you very much for writing. This is a very good introduction to you. Okay, so I can also reply to my teacher in the very same page. So I just have to click reply, and I have again 4 different options, but I'm going to use the voice note again. Thank you, teacher. I think that it is very inspiring. So I reply to my teacher, and now I can see that there is a conversation, a further dialogue between my teacher and me. And I can click here and I can hear what I told him. Thank you, teacher. I think that it is very okay. And I can also reply, for example, to the writing the written note that is here, and I'm going to reply in the same way. Or I can add a voice note again. So in this case, I'm just going to reply using the written or the text message. So I'm going to put here. And what word do you suggest? And I click here and reply. As you see, there are different interactions, right? And for example, I can see here and watch the video. Right, everything is just here. And also reply to this video. I'm going to use the voice note. Thank you, teacher. I think that that video was very useful when I was uh, creating this task. I absolutely forget about it. So thank you very much. And again, everything is just here. So as you can see, there are many ways in which you can interact with your teacher. In this case, I use just two things: the voice and the audio recording note and the text message. Okay, so let's go back to the teacher's account. So again, here I can see that John has replied to my comments, right? And I can listen to him. Thank you, teacher. I think that it is very inspiring. I can read what he wrote here, and I can listen again to his comment here below the video. Thank you, teacher. I think that, of course, there are many other possibilities and many other things that you can do with Kaizena. This is just a short demo of how to use it, and I hope that you really enjoyed. Well, thank you very much for listening, and I hope to see you soon. Bye bye.